going into game one of this best of 7 between iamturk and Hazza. Again, that's the round of 8 of the pro qualifiers of the ESOC Winter Tournament.
I think we're past the qualifying stage, guys. We're kind of in the quarterfinals, and the winner will be facing you in the semi. So this is the latter ends of this tournament stages, and as you can see by the ranks of the PRs before we loaded into the game, we got both Hazza and iamturk currently ranked as Major General. So we're at the highest of the high levels so far, so we're expecting top play from both players. But currently, spawning into game number 1, we have iamturk spawning into the top of the map, playing as the Indian civilization in the colour blue, with his opponent, Hazza54321, at the bottom, playing as the French. It appears that the game has just started, but just loading in.
What the
Hopefully
hell?
loading.
I can see you flashing somehow, but you... Wait, did you load in yet, or...?
I'm in the game.
Yeah, you say iamturk is on top, so you're in the game, but I see you flashing. This makes no sense.
What, with the, like, dropping in, dropping out?
Yeah, like the drop thing. I guess we should just drop and go just... We're gonna... Are you in the game now, or...?
Yeah, I just sent a message,
Wait,
Well, maybe it's out of sync already.
Oh, that makes no sense.
Oh, no.
It looks like you're dropped out of the game. Wait, Give You Anxiety, subscribe, thanks a lot. So what should we do now? Can you still see the game or not?
Well, I wasn't again. I've now just left the game. We'll try it more time. If it doesn't work, then I'll tab out and just leave it for a solo cast for you to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm currently in the lobby, so I'm out of the game because the game resigned.
Yes.
Yeah. It just says you're resigned. But wait, I have a weird echo from you. I mean, I can hear myself.
It might be because my speak. You're quite loud on my speaker. I mean, the microphone's nearby to the overhead speaker, so I just turn my mic down a little bit. So hopefully the echo there should go down a little bit.
Right. Okay, let's try. Yeah, I can't hear myself anymore, so it should be good. All right, let's go. Hopefully it just works. I don't know why this happens, but...
It's frustrating. You have everything set up, you get the hype going. We're about to jump into game 1, and then it just doesn't work. So we'll have to see if it doesn't. We'll try again, properly. But if it doesn't work, I'll just have to leave the match.
Yeah, it should be fine though. I don't think there's a reason why this should happen. It's just a random bug. I think we're just really unlucky, but it should be fine next. So yeah, going in again in this game 1 of the best of 7 between iamturk and Hazza, round of 8 of the winter tournament. And like you said, these are really high level players, both PR 40 plus. So we have a really interesting series here.
Yeah, we currently have Hazza spawning as the French civilization into the top of the map, playing in the colour red, with his opponent iamturk spawning at the bottom of the map, playing as the Indians today in the colour blue. Looks like we're just waiting for the game to start again after the recorded game has been loaded in.
I think it's the same issue actually. I think you're gonna drop for some reason.
Okay.
Well, let's just... Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, we can actually see you typing, but... Oh well. Okay, well, was nice to know you.
May I rest in peace, shall I say? And
yeah, well, we can try again next. I guess.
Let's try and pick somebody else out of the chat, out of the Twitch chat who wants to hop in.
We'll see about that next game, right? We'll see if you can join, or if we try to get another co-caster or something. But I guess I'm just gonna solo cast this one.
Yeah, go for it then.
It's
annoying because I've been casting well with Wicked, Cammy, Riot, Chrissy.
Yeah,
it just comes to you.
It's just a random bug. Like it's a complete random bug. It makes no sense because you have internet and you drop and it's whatever. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna focus on the game now. I gotta talk about the stuff.
Okay,
and,
I'll leave the chat then.
Yeah, catch you later.
Ciao, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Sorry for that, guys. I don't know why this happens. We had everything set up and then it just bugged. But anyway, we are in the first game of this best of 7. It's France against India. On top of the map, Hazza in the color red as France, and in the bottom, iamturk in the color blue as India indeed. And iamturk is working. He's gonna maybe work on a coyote, or actually, nah, he's gonna go for the 80 food. And meanwhile, Hazza is getting all the small treasures in the middle of the map. So on this map in the middle, between the walls here, you have small tier 1 treasures. So that's like this kind of like 40 food, 30 coin stuff. And on the rest of the map, you have a bit bigger treasures. Not very big, but tier 2 treasures like 80 food and a pet coyote. And so before that, what did they get? So iamturk got a lot of food actually. He's at 75 and 35 and 80, which is 190 food already. So that's a huge H1 for him. Wait, plus another 30. So he's got more than 200 food already in H1. Hazza did get 75 coin, which apparently didn't help him to get a market up. Because he's stacking a lot of gold right now. But still, he does have that gold. And he also got for himself well, more gold actually. Hazza got 180 gold stacked, which is, you know, it's a bunch of resources, which is nice for later on. But meanwhile, look at that. I'm just getting another food treasure. So he's at 250 food in H1 already. He's going to age up insanely early. He's got the forward veil and dropping the Agra fort already. Usually you expect France to click up before India, but in fact France is going to age after India. Even though the Indian age up time is a bit longer, it's a minute and 50 seconds, I believe, when you have one veil on the wonder. So 20 seconds more than the French age up. You know, India is going to age up at basically the same time as France, which is really nice. Like it's not something you usually see in this matchup. Usually you see France aging way earlier, so that's a very nice advantage for iamturk already here. iamturk working on getting some hunts towards his stone center. Hazza doing the same. And a bit of a fight here. iamturk trying to block off that native scout, but the elephant is going down, so that's a nice pickup for Hazza here, getting one elephant down. And next, Hazza is going to move on to scout, try to figure out where that Agra fort is. He already kind of knows it's not on this side of the map, so he's probably going to go check on that side of the map here and just find it with his native scout. Oh, that's a market. Okay, I thought it was a consulate, but okay. Yeah, just a market, but finding that market is already some information for Hazza. He knows it's not going to be a consulate rush, because if you're consulate rush, you don't build a market, for example. So Hazza knows it's probably not going to be completely all in. It's going to be some sort of more standard Indian build. And now seeing the Agra fort and seeing that it's going to be up quite fast, but with only one veil on it. So again, confirming it's not going to be too all in. Hazza going for a trading post, which is just very standard. And working on his hunts. What else can we say? Well, that native scout is in stealth mode in front of the Agra fort, ready to spot any units coming from the Agra fort towards Hazza's base or trading post. iamturk getting back his second elephant, and they're gonna heal each other, which is really nice. 2 sepoys from the age up going forward. Probably gonna start working already on that trading post here. Hazza going for an in-base barracks, which is pretty standard in this matchup, as you don't really want to start cav, as India gets obviously sepoys, which are one of the, well, probably the strongest musketeer in the game, especially against cav, so you don't really want to make hussars. Plus they can even get zembaraks if they want. So really no reason to open hussars against India here. So just opening for probably musketeers, could be crossbows, but you know, nothing too fancy here from Hazza. Few sepoys being trained by iamturk. Gonna try to get that trading post down. Hazza will probably come and poke with his explorer and with a batch of 5 musketeers and try to get some damage on these sepoys. Smartly moving his explorer in position to detect more sepoys that would be coming towards his training post, because you don't want to like bring your musketeers here and then get trapped by by Sepoy's reinforcements. So indeed, the Musketeers coming forward, trying to get some shots. Nice shot here on the Sepoy. It's gonna get to low HP. Hazza doing a good job of trying to snipe it down with his Explorer. A few more Sepoys. Oh, actually Gorka is coming forward. So I think it's time for Hazza to just pull back here. He's gonna try to buy time, you know, keep just trying to scare India away, snaring with the Explorer, poking with the Musketeers, but eventually, you know, like you've just gotta just let it down. You can't deny that, I guess. You know, it's just you can't really beat skirms with musks, right? So Hazza is gonna try to snare, get the snare, and get the Musketeers in. I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, the Explorer is gonna go down, and then there's Gurkhas, and yeah, Hazza's gonna have to pull back. So kind of wasting his Explorer here, but not the biggest deal. He did get the last pass of XP, I believe. So still getting some value out of that trading post. More Gurkhas coming forward, and Hazza actually going for the fast semi-FF here. Sometimes you could see 700 wood second card, but here it's a 700 gold second card from Hazza. So he's gonna age up directly after making 9 Musketeers, and we'll probably just push really early in Fortress with 2 Falconets. Now India coming into poke, being just as annoying as possible with the Gurkhas. Bit of overkill here from Hazza on that Gorka, but not the end of the world. Still getting some decent shots with just 10 CDBs in the TC, which is the most efficient. That native scout is also still alive, which is important. And iamturk now adding a trading post. Maybe you're gonna add a second one with that elephant here. Because I don't really see the point of adding one trading post. Like you don't really, like the XP is not that valuable anymore at this point already. And I feel like if you build a TP, you might as well build 2 of them and get a stagecoach ready. Anyway, Hazza is up at a pretty good time. Pretty standard time for a 10 musks in my FF. He made more Musketeers in transition, but not that many Musketeers because he also had to chop for houses. A few CDBs just running away. I think one of them will go down, but not more than that. Still a good pickup for Turk here. That house also a bit out of position, but I don't think Turk is going to be able to get it down. That native scout has to be careful though, it's not in stealth mode anymore. Yeah, it's going to go down, which is unfortunate because that's a very important unit actually. So meanwhile, Turk got all of the market upgrades, or well, not all of them, but most of them actually. He still misses the second gold upgrade. And now he's shipping 600 gold and gonna try to follow Hazza up. But maybe iamturk did not expect such a quick age up from Hazza, because look at this. Already 2 Falconets on the field before Turk even clicked up. So that's gonna be a lot of pressure. I don't know that iamturk can really hold that. And it's also a bit risky from Hazza here, you know, taking risks, just pushing before he's got even veteran musks or any kind of mass. So he's totally banking on the fact that Turk is aging. But even if Turk was not aging, he knows Turk has a stagecoach. So, you know India is going to be kind of slow. That's also probably why Hazza is going to be so aggressive here. And it's going to pay off because Turk has no way to try and deny that. So he's just going to go for a counter raid here, trying to get some damage. Maybe going to kill one of these CDBs here. But you know, meanwhile, the Agra fort is going down, and next it's going to be tough for India because his base is going to be pushed. He's aging with 8 villas on the Wonder, building a consulate. So he's going to be up reasonably soon, but there's still some window for Hazza to do some damage here. So yeah, indeed, Turk going for the counter raid, but I think Hazza already saw it, and he needs to tech veteran musketeers though. I like when people delay their veteran musketeers to just make more of them. Like you can make more musketeers and then tech them at the last second when you're pushing, but now it's long overdue. I mean, at this point you really want vet musks. He's got 25 of them and it's definitely worth upgrading at this point, so he already might want to upgrade them. 8 skirms on the field. iamturk finally aging. but already losing his barracks. So he's lost his aggro fort. He tried to rebuild the barracks. That barracks went down. Now he's gonna rebuild another barracks behind his base. If he's going for musketeer, for sepoys or Gurkhas, he will have to upgrade them. Thanks a lot for subscribing, Alex. And so, yeah, you know, it's quite expensive for iamturk here. It's just going to slow him down a lot. I don't know how he's going to deal with that pressure here. And now Hazza pulls back, which I really like, actually. Why would he keep pushing? You know, like, you know, there's probably going to be siege elephants popping or Euromies or anything. I mean, there's going to be units. So why would you keep pushing here? Just go back and get the TP line down, steal the TPs for yourself. Even if you get only one of these TPs down, for you, it's a win already. Finally upgrading the musketeers. A bit late, but it's fine. 3 curious shipment coming in as well. Could have been maybe 1k wood. After he applied so much pressure, I don't know that he really needs the curious. He could just go 1k wood, rebuild that TP, maybe even get 2 TP stagecoach on his side or something like that. But looks like he's going for 3 curious, which is also a fine decision anyway. Siege elephants being shipped. So again, I really like that Hazza decided to pull back, saving his falconets. The queers are actually going to be great here. They're just enough to snare everything, and so many villagers going down already. And Hazza looks like he's going to accept that his falconets are going to die, just going to commit to fighting. He didn't know about the siege elephants. They better be shooting, they're dead anyway. Okay, so this falconets died kind of for free, but meanwhile Hazza just killing so many vills, and he's still got a solid unit composition, just enough musketeers to kill whatever pops. Should not commit too much under the TC. There could be Euromies popping, but if he can just kite away from that TC, try to get some more damage. I mean, Hazza is in a great spot, really. He stole one of the TPs, so now they're really even on the TP line. But in fact, Hazza is way ahead in eco, and he's got more military as well. And those vills are really exposed. So if Hazza can, like, let's say this batch of units maybe might scout that, and could be a big problem for Turk. And Hazza keeps applying more pressure. He's got the skirm advantage. Siege elephants actually doing some damage, not to be underestimated. They still do damage to units. These Gurkhas are not upgraded. That was the problem of losing the barracks and the aggro fort and all that. Like, he had to rebuild the barracks, and well, I guess losing the aggro fort didn't matter, but he tried to rebuild the barracks and had to rebuild it again, and now he has to invest the wood on upgrading the barracks. And yeah, I think now Hazza knows about the vills, so Turk is gonna have to pull them back, and he can't really afford to pull them back because he's out of gold. Well, he's not actually, but he's soon out of gold in base. Killing a vill here, giving a few free kills, but you know, again, Hazza is just really ahead in eco here. He doesn't even need to push, really. He can just keep containing now. Just get the skirmisher advantage. Enough anti-cav, add some queers, build a tower here, anything, just like keep containing, and India is just lost. I mean, he's got 500 gold in base, and no way to secure that front mine here. He's even out of, not quite out of hunts, but almost. So India kind of really wants to secure that whole location here, but yeah, he just can't deal with the skirmisher mass of Hazza here. Just gonna give a lot of free kills because trying to secure that gold mine, but yeah, it's just not gonna work out. A bit of sloppy rally points from Hazza second time, but really doesn't matter. This game is pretty much over. There's not much, really not much India can do at this point. Even gonna find that vill with the wolf and send his musketeers to kill it. So yeah, the eco is so one-sided now. And Turk, I believe, is gonna Turk. So if you don't know what Turking means, it means when you've lost, you keep playing. And I think that's what Turk is gonna do in this game. Because honestly, there's really nothing he can do anymore. Like, he's too far behind in eco and military, there's no way. And now he's giving more free kills. And we can check units lost before Turk resigns at some point, because then we can't check it anymore. So 20 vills died for Turk. That's really big. So I think it just came down to Turk being way too greedy with his build order, going for Stagecoach in H2 and full market. But yeah, first let's talk about this fight. Lots of clears connecting with everything, just Turk trying to tank with his builds, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Hazza is not even microing that, he's just set moving because there's not much to do anymore. Soon we'll reach 0 vills and 0 units, I guess. Yeah. 5 Zams coming in to win the game. 4 Zams, sorry. H2 Zams. And Hazza is pulling back because he doesn't have to push. I mean, he's killed so many vills. And yeah, okay, so Turkey is gonna resign. GG. Pretty convincing game 1 from Hazza here. I really think Turk expected the sort of more standard, more meta semi-FF from Hazza, where you get 700 wood, which is a bit more economic because you can get more infrastructures up, you can get a stable, you can get your houses and all that. Instead, Hazza went for the faster but a bit more all-in semi-FF, where you have to chop a lot of wood because you don't have 700 wood. So you need wood for your veteran musketeers, you need wood for a stable, you need wood for houses, and you don't have the wood, so you have to chop it. But you know, if you can do that and get away with it and like just be really aggressive, and then India is still H2 when you have your Falconet sieging his Agra fort, it's just really tough because then India, you know, they're so slow to follow you up and all that. So. And so yeah, that slow semi-FF from Turk with all the market upgrades, with Stagecoach, and just a few units and no real pressure. Just really playing into Hazza's hands here. Just Hazza going for the counter build, and you can see the gap between the French age up at 7 minutes 45 and the Indian age up at 10 minutes 40. So basically 3 minutes window for Hazza to just get his Falconets and a second shipment and tech his veteran musketeers and just do so much damage. Get the Agra fort down, get a barracks down, get some houses down, kill some vills. Oh well, he killed vills later, I guess, but just well executed by Hazza here, and a bit too greedy by iamturk. And you know, at the end of the day, being too greedy, he was ahead for a while, obviously, because he was so greedy in resources. But then it doesn't pay off because you take so much damage and then you just fall off eventually. All right. I guess I'm gonna just keep solo casting that. So anyway, that makes it 1-0 for Hazza here in that best of 7. So I hope you guys are ready for a long series, by the way. Well, unless it's a clean sweep or something, but you know, it should be a pretty close series and with a lot of games. Next map is gonna be Arizona, and Hazza will have to pick first, and he cannot play France anymore. So Arizona is a map with 4 trading posts and not really low resources, but not high resources either. Maybe slightly below average resources for the ESOC map standards. Like you have only one coin mining base, and the second one is a bit further away. You have like 2 small deer hunts you can get, but not more than that. So you don't really want to play something like Brits on this map, definitely. But you can play a more aggressive civ that takes advantage of the TP line. For example, typically Spain or Otto could do good on Arizona, or even Hero, or Russia, or something like that. All right, so iamturk is back.
Yes.
So Hazza is locking in Spain. So like I say, that's a pretty good pick on Arizona here. There's also a lot of decent treasures, and having the dog can help you a bit. But it's really mostly about the TP line and the fact that, like I said, it's not extremely high resources. In Spain, it is this kind of civ that likes to, keep map control and maybe contain and that kind of stuff. All right, and actually, Wicked Cossack is gonna join me, so I'm gonna have a co-caster. All right, just gonna put these earphones back on. And Wicked is in the lobby, and I'm gonna join him in the chat now. Hey.
Hello.
How you
doing? Great.
Doing
All
good,
right.
and you?
Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. I was just watching the first game. Always nice to see some India. Shame they didn't win, but can't always have everything.
Yeah, what's your opinion on that build? I feel like it was just really a bit too greedy.
Yeah, and just not taking advantage of the map spawn. I think sometimes you just get like an idea stuck in your mind and you just like execute it. But like if Turk had seen, I mean, he did see the hunts of Hazard, but he just didn't adapt enough, maybe. But
Yeah, that's true. It's a pretty low food map, and he might have been more aggressive. But all right, so yeah, cool that you're joining me. So that's Wicked Cossack. Sorry for the issues in the first game, guys, but now we have a co-caster. And that's gonna be game 2 of the best of 7 between Hazza and iamturk.
yeah, it's a nice matchup as well. Ottoman Spain. I feel like I don't see this one enough. This is like the classic Nilla matchup from 12,
Right.
13 years ago. The two best civs on Nilla, and then kind of gone out of fashion for like the last 10 years. But here we have a resurgence.
Yeah, it's a cool matchup too. I mean, the only thing I dislike about this matchup is that it kind of like depends on if you can find the Ottoman Explorer with the dog, like if you can instantly kill the Ottoman Explorer with your dog, and then it's just a bit random, But I really like the matchup overall because there's a lot of strategies you can go for.
Yeah, and it looks like Hazard's actually mostly going for some treasures on the right, because normally the trading post you want to take is the one that Turk's heading for. So hopefully for him, he'll get the pass. Sometimes it's a little awkward when the TP spawns on like the other side of the map, so it spawns closer to Hazard. So he might. I think he'll be fine though. But it seems that okay, so Hazard's going for a TP as well. So that's
Yeah.
nice agreement.
So there's quite a lot to talk about already. I mean, like, Spain are kind of slow if they go for a TP, but I guess he wants to take a TP because he wants to already start controlling the TP line before Otto can grab more TPs. But then again, it's sort of a trade-off, because what if Hazza would have just gone straight here with the Explorer and the dog and start just destroying the Ottoman Explorer? I think that could have been maybe better, because then he would age up earlier. But then again, he's also got an 80 wood, which might also be why he decided to go for a TP. It's going to be a little bit easier for him to get that TP, that house up. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you get a ton of bluffing here, though. Like, for all we know, Turk could have gone for the TP on the right because he knows Hazza Spain, so he wants to maybe avoid the, the dangerous TP to get. So sometimes it's just a bit of like rock paper scissors where your explorer's head, but Turk went for the risky TP and it paid off. He got first pass, so he's
yeah,
going to be feeling pretty good.
that TP is actually insane. I think it gives 100 XP roughly, and you get it like instantly. So it's really hard to find a better trading post than that. Like, it's not Great Plains, but it's coming close to it. And so he gets his 3-bill shipment at 1 minute 42 already. A really nice start for Ottomans here.
Yeah, you can just see the food difference. Like, he's already at 800 food, Spain at like 250.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon we're going to see here? Spain doing the standard FF, and I mean Ottoman can either they can fast fortress as well if they want to, or they can also stay age 2.
Yeah, I feel like Otto kind of has to just FF, because it's kind of hopeless to say H2 against Abus Jans when you're Spain, and Spain just is not very good at H2, right? So I guess Spain is kind of locked into that FF. But yeah, Otto has a lot of options, and I don't know which option he's gonna choose here.
Yeah, he's on the run now, so he's not going to be able to build a second trading post. Which, looking at his macros, maybe what he wanted to do. He's gathering a lot of wood, almost up to 200 wood. So I think possibly he did want to take a second trading post. Hazza's done a good job preventing that, and he's still hunting the Explorer now, actually, and he's going in for the snare.
I guess he might. I mean, yeah, obviously, usually Otto likes to build a second TP, but he's got 2 vills forward already, and it could be also for houses here. Just trying to get the pop space and 2 buildings or something, like a double Jan, He's also not gathering any gold. He's got enough gold to queue like 2 Jans, but
yeah,
this looks like a double Jan, or maybe an FF. Well, no, he's got forward vills.
He's got a couple more vills on coin. Yeah, I know what you mean. You just get like 50 coin exactly, and then ship the 700 coin. It's perfect for the double Jan strat. But I think it's something a bit more conventional. We'll see the 700 wood, and can he get this up?
I think he will get it up with vills in the worst case, but yeah, I mean, he did spend the wood on a second TP, you were right about that. So it's not going to be too all in here, just more standard play. Maybe, just a Jan semi or something, like make a few Jans, get that TP down, get a stagecoach and age up.
Yeah, so sorry, something I just noticed is Hazza needs to get working on these hunts. Like, have you seen how far away from the town center?
I actually checked at the start and it was fine, but maybe they walked away or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably did walk, but it's Hazza's working on it now. He's the one on the right is getting a bit closer. He'll probably use the tower to help secure it. But if Turk's going to put on some pressure, Hazza needs to really worry about getting this hunt a bit closer, because it's way out in the open, and and there's no berries or anything either, so he needs to herd that.
Yeah, although he will have the food to age anyway, because he aged with 16 vills, which means you get just more resources when you age with 1 more vill. And also he got a 75 coin treasure and macroed perfectly, or almost perfectly, to get 100 gold. So like, he's got already the food he needs. So in the worst case, he will be able to age. But yeah, he needs to herd for later on. And that tower is kind of a weird placement.
Yeah, it's a little unusual, but it seems it'll be all right. Turk's more concerned about going for the stagecoach, so he's got that tech in. He's now sieging Hazza's TP, so Turk's just going to play this out.
Wow. And Hazza noticed instantly the stagecoach, so he well, unless the stagecoach has been here for a long time, but I don't think so. Anyway, Hazza already got 100 wood from the stagecoach. So he
Oh,
directly set his TP to wood, which is quite important here, I think, because Spain needs a lot of wood in early fortress. So, losing the TP, giving auto stagecoach, well, I can't really do much about that. I'm Spain, but I'm getting 100 wood from it, so it's not for nothing.
yeah, nice reactions. So I'm wondering now, as Spain, like, what's the plan? Do you ship 2 Falconets first, or is that like too risky? Maybe
think
you'll just
it's-
lose them to some Jans and Abus. Do you need like the buffer shipment first? Maybe like the 12 pikes.
I think you go for 5 Lancers because he's got this is actually a big mistake. The foundry right next to the stagecoach, and the stagecoach scouted that. So Hazza knows it's Abus Jan, and I think the logical answer is just 5 Lancers and train skirms. Or actually even going stable, and he's gonna maybe pure Lancer.
Yeah, looks like Turk picks off a free villager that Hazza forgotten about. Meanwhile, Hazza shipping the 5 Earls, so he's adding a bit of eco behind this. Hopefully he's not going to lose any more. Some of these ones on the coin mine may be a little risky, but Turk doesn't see them at the moment, just going for the outpost.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that stable from Hazza. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be hard to get a decent batch of Lancers. But anyway, he's doing a good job of sniping the Jans. Maybe he could snipe the Abus with the TC fire if they come close enough. Actually,
Yeah.
this is looking scary already. What if just Minutemen pop? I think they're on the way, and Huss from the Ajab and the dogs. Maybe a bit off timing here. Kind of calling Minutemen and bringing dogs too early, unfortunately. So not gonna be that great for Hazza actually. Could have been a bit better, I think, but
Yeah, and the problem is that the Minutemen are already kind of decaying, so
yeah.
Turk's doing a nice job of kiting here, and he should be okay actually.
Yeah, that could have been a massive cleanup, I think, but Hazza just wasn't patient enough. Still getting a trade, like trading his colonial hussars for a decent amount of Jans. And in the back of that, iamturk is gonna age, which I really like, because if iamturk was to stay H2 with just Abus and Jans against Lancers, I think he would just die. So he's gonna age up, but he's gonna give a window to Hazza to do something. Maybe push with his first unit shipment directly.
Yeah, and I mean Hazard does need to do something, right? Because he's pretty behind in eco when you factor in the 4 TP stagecoach. So he's got out the 5 Lancers. He's going to look to try and catch these Abus guns, and I think he's going to do it. But the Minutemen are just going to see them in the line. Oh, they'll see him now, definitely.
Yeah, kind of a mistake from iamturk to even shoot here. I think he should have. They might have been out of line of sight, but they just shot at the Minutemen, so Hazza realized, and that's 5 dead Abus. And the 2 Jans are just gonna run away, because if they come in, they'll just die as well. So that's a big pickup.
That's really expensive. Yeah, you can't really afford to lose 5 Abus guns. And I mean, Hazard's just sticking with this Lancer composition. I mean, it's a little bit awkward as Spain, if he wants to add another unit into his composition to gather the 200 wood for a barracks is really costly. You either have to ship 1k wood or just, I guess, carry on massing Lancers and ship the other units.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward because you can't ship skirms or goons or anything. So like usually you ship Lancers and make infantry, but here if you make Lancers, you also ship Lancers and ship melee units. I mean, basically he's going for a full melee unit composition and 2 Falconets here. That's it. But the 12 pikes, they're not that great at fighting, but surely they're going to do a good job at getting the TPs down. And if you can just get the TPs down already, then you're ahead in eco. And now I don't know why Turk is pushing so far. Attacking veteran Jans right now, but they'll be dead before it comes in. So, wow.
Yeah, that was not a great trade for Turk. Nice for Hazza, he like immediately picked up on it that he could crush that army. The extra 8 Jans will be enough to push them off, but again, another favourable trade for Hazza, and he is taking out these TPs as well. So Hazza's doing well to come back into this game.
This is looking extremely good for Spain here. I mean, Yeah, he's just... If he can steal even one TP, he's easily ahead in eco. And how is Otto gonna deal with the Lancers? I was also checking iamturk's deck. He doesn't have 5 Kavachas in deck, or the Manchus or anything like that. So he's got no way to easily get an actual anti-cav unit, like something that would really counter Lancers. So he's gonna have to go with the sheer mass of Jans. But he's put himself so far behind in the Jan mass that I don't know that he will get enough Jans to re-kill the Lancers. Because there's 4 more Lancers from Hazza now.
Yeah, that might just give Hazard the confidence to come in, but no, I'm not sure. Anyway, Turk on the other hand, he shipped the 2 Falconets early, but you have to wonder if he's actually got enough protection for these Falconets, and at the end of the day, the Falconets aren't really going to do much against the Lancers, which is what Hazard's mostly going for. Oh, and I'm a little bit worried about these Falconets.
Oh, okay, Hazard's gonna pull back. But yeah, I don't really understand the Falconet shipment from Ottomans, as he knows Hazard is going for Lancers. Maybe he expects Hazard to ship Falconets himself. And it's true that imagine if you have only Jans and your opponent has Lancers and Falconets, you're kind of dead. Because you can't kill the Falconets, right? So I guess he wants to trade his Falconets for Hazard's Falconets. But Hazard's going for 1k wood actually, so grading a little bit here. But that's gonna cost him his trading post. But nice counter push here.
He's going for a cheeky siege on this barracks and artillery foundry. Is that gonna work?
And catching the reinforcements as well. Nice pickup by Hazza here. Just abusing the mobility. He's gonna have to pull back now, but that was a good trade for him, I think. And well, yeah, units popping on the other side. Just pushing the pikes away.
Yeah, some nice multitasking here. Turk's done well to try and re-secure the trading post on the left though. So he is actually still ahead in eco, and he is finally getting a slightly bigger Jan mass. So the longer this goes on and the bigger the Jan mass becomes, I think they're going to do but another little catch maybe. The Jans into melee will do well though. The extra Jans coming in, so this trade might not actually go that bad for the Ottomans.
I don't think Hazza wants to take that fight. I think he wants to wait until he's getting the Caballeros or the Falconets or something. Hazza trying to micro that, but yeah, he's gonna have to just pull away, and that was not a good trade for him.
No, I think the Lancers they only do well against sort of a small number of Jans where they can clean them up quickly. But when Turk's mass is coming up to sort of like 15 to 20 units, then as we see, the trade just doesn't quite go as well for Spain there. So Turk's got a lot more confidence now, so he's going to push on the right, and this is where Hazard's hunting situation is. Is going to have a little problem.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, he didn't realize he has Vils here. They're basically all dead. This is looking not good for Spain anymore. I think Hazza was already in a good position, but maybe the 1k wood was really useless. I mean, he's still stacking 400 of it, and I don't really know what he's done with the wood.
He did add a rack, so I think he was sort of worried about trying to maybe transition away from Lancers a bit. And that's the awkward thing with Spain. Like, if you want to add a rack, you either need to gather 200 wood, which feels so slow, or you need to ship the 1,000 wood, which loses you a lot of momentum.
Right, but I think he could have, for the time being, just stayed with no racks and just ship Falconets and try to force a fight. Because imagine that fight there with 2 Falconets in the back would have been great for Hazza, but I think it's not over yet. It's looking pretty good for Otto, but you never know. Like, there's also a bunch of random Vils here for him too. I don't know what they're actually doing, but if Hazza could find that,
Yeah, and there's also the magic of the 2 Falconet war. This is one of my least favorite things as a player. Like when you've got 2 Falcons and the enemy has 2 Falcons, and it's like, who's going to shoot first? And I just hate it. It feels so horrible. But if you've got good micro, 2 Falconet, and you take out the enemy's 2 Falconets, that's often game changing. So it could be a way for Hazard to get back into this.
Yeah, that's true. Although I'm afraid the leftover 5 Abyss guns could also just, help iamturk win the fight anyway. I mean, win the Falconet war. Because the Abyss can help a lot at killing opponent's Falconets. But while Otto was chasing all these builds on the top right of the map, Hazard's going for a counter push and getting the barracks down. But oh, Mamluks are gonna be huge. There's no real anti-cav. I think this is the end of the game. I mean, how do
Yeah.
you...
He
How-
can't. He can't win this. The fight's
Yeah.
all actually quite well. Hopefully Turk moves his Mamelukes a little bit.
Falconet going down, 2 Falconets going down. Yeah, that's just over. I mean, there's no way. Yeah.
There we go.
That's a bit of a throw from Hazza. I feel like he was really in a good spot, just getting good trades. And then he just wasted a lot of lances.
Yeah, I think Turk's often quite an aggressive player, isn't he? So he was getting overconfident around the early game, just sending small groups of Jans and Ablus, and Hazard did a good job picking them all up with the Lancers. Yeah. But then sometimes I guess you just get carried away and I'm picking off this group of Jans and this group of Jans, and suddenly you go up against a group of Jans that is maybe a little too big for you. And then, oh crap, you forget how shit the Civ is. Damn it. Happens to everyone.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he could have just, he was fighting these Jans, and then the bigger mass of Jans joined. He could have killed the few Jans and then run away. It would have been an okay trade. And then he just stayed and tried to fight the whole mass, and he just had less units. Also, on EP, the Caballeros card is buffed quite a lot. It now gives 2 more range to your Lancers. I think it's a tremendous card against Otto. Like, how good are Lancers with an extra multiplier against Jans and 2 more range? Like, I think he should have really waited until he gets that card before taking any real fight.
I haven't seen that in action. Can you get like a second row of Lancers behind the first row that can hit? Like, how does that work?
If you bring if you jam your Lancers in, then yeah, they're gonna do a little bit like the Chinese cab, and the ones in the back will still attack. But I think here against Jans, what you want to do is like sort of poke, like you just stay at 2 range, and whenever he goes melee, you just pull your Lancers back, so you use only 1 line of Lancers, and just try to get as many hits as possible without Otto actually coming into melee your Lancers, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, it does sound pretty good. I guess he just has to try and figure out how to fit that into his build order, which is a little bit harder than normal when the enemy try and takes all the trading posts, which is one of the issues you get when going up against Ottoman. They're a big fan of that trading post line.
Right, yeah. But really, I feel like, a Jansamai and just getting the stagecoach and aging would be like so much faster by Turk, and it would be a bit scarier. But he sort of like lingered on in Colonial and made Abus, which didn't really do much at all. And I think that was really the window for Hazza to like he did, just to clean up, just catch these units and all that. But then he just wasted. Yeah, I think Hazza was fine. Also, maybe that Minuteman call with the 4 Hassas was not that great. Maybe he should have just gone to raid with the Hassas and then catch with the Lancers. Anyway.
Oh yes, love this matchup, and it's a good map as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I don't know what to think about this matchup anymore.
Yeah, it's nice. I think both civs have options. I think though in general, if you like sort of polled the top players, I think most people would say it's favourable for India still. I think it's pretty 50-50, but then again, I'm fairly biased, so take that with a grain of salt.
Well, I feel like it is pretty close. It's just so much easier for India to like make sepoys and Euromies and Brits.
Oh, what are you on about? A lot of skill involved there, mate. Let me tell you. Easy, he says.
Hey, you're right.
God,
yeah.
You never played India.
I have played India a couple times.
Couple times. Did you manage to make a sepoy?
I didn't try to. I made my Huds and Howdas and tried to lose no unit.
All right, that's always good. I will say though, it's a nice map for Brits, right? Brits is a pretty popular pick on Florida, and that's just due to the sheer amount of resources here. So that might help tip it in Brits' favor. But then again, India, you get the sheep on this map as well, so that helps put it back in India's court again. So both civs have a lot to enjoy on this map.
Yeah. It probably is a better map for Brits, like you said, but it's definitely by no means a bad map for India. And also now we have a coin start, like which usually just sucks for India, but with the market here, he can actually buy 100 wood, and it's almost as good as a wood start, so it's not that bad here for India.
Yeah, and I think that's something you should definitely do. I always try and make use of the coin crate if you can. So basically, yeah, if you start off with a market like you do here, or if you have like an in-base coin treasure, so anything from 30 to 50 coin, I think it's good just to go ahead and get that. And yeah, he's picking up the coin crate now, and going for a trading post. So he's definitely gonna wait. Hang on, who am I looking at? Who's the India? Hazza's India. So
Yeah. He's going for a trading post, and well, usually when it's two elephants, it's India. Two elephants building the TP. Yeah, but he just bought 100 wood, like we said. He might not go for the food upgrade, but he sort of turned that gold start into a wood start, so it's good enough.
Wow, that's really nice. He's well on his way to getting the first shipment. I really love getting as much XP as you can before that first shipment, because essentially it's just a wood treasure as India, because you always ship the wood trickle first. So anything to get that first shipment out is always makes you feel really good.
Yeah, and yeah, and that TP is actually really good. I mean, you get a solid XP and you get it easily before your first shipment. So, but actually, iamturk is getting a shipment before, well, pretty much at the same time as Hazza, because Turk got 100 XP, which is also very nice when you can get it before your vills.
Yeah, both players sort of looking at this 100 food treasure up top. So Turk probably wanted to start that, but won't be able to. Hazza's bringing his other explorer up as well. Yeah, he's making good use of finding these sheep. He's got a ton of sheep actually. Got 6 at the moment.
Yeah, and Turk only has 2, and you start with 1 sheep in your base already, so it means Turk only found 1 sheep on the map. So that's Hazza already going for. I don't know that you should try to go for that. I mean, he doesn't even have a crack shot, so it takes a long time to pick up. But I guess he's just gonna pull back. But Turk is just gonna force it. Okay, we have a big treasure contention now, and I think Hazza's got it actually. No, Turk does as usual.
With the food. Yeah, and that's Hazza's going to be disappointed, because the one main thing if you go TP as India is you have a really slow age up, and you can kind of see like Hazza's only at 300 food. So whereas Turk's already aging up, and Brits will really like this, because you can sort of get a lot of time to do what you want, which is mostly build a lot of manors, get a lot of villagers before India starts harassing you.
Right. And especially Hazza is not chopping wood, so he's kind of relying on his wood trickle to make vills, but now he doesn't have a villain queue. So like you said, yeah, 100 extra food right now would be so good for Hazza, because now he's going to have a lot of idle time. But I guess it's sort of a trade-off, he's idling so that he doesn't age too late, but he has a TP, but he's still going to age quite late. And sending a second vill as well, because he doesn't want to be up too late. But dropping the Agra Fort at 330 is not what you want.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward. So yeah, it takes a minute for he's still not down. I guess he's looking for a place to put it. Has he found it? There he goes, found it. One of the vills has kind of walked a bit too far, so it's going to come back. But even with 2 vills on the one day, this is going to be well after 5 minutes. And yeah, we can see Turk's already up to 40 mana population, and presumably he's just going to add even more houses.
Right, yeah, and meanwhile Hazza just idled so much. He basically deleted 1 or maybe 2 vills because he just wasn't making vills. and he's up so late. This is not a good start for Hazza, really. I think that TP just didn't pay off, and now there's also treasure contention here.
Yeah, I mean, Hazard's Explorer's probably going to die. He does have another one coming in though, so he's going to have an opportunity to take it. Hopefully, it carries on moving.
Oh, he's got it. Yeah. Oh, Turk should have just killed the elephant. He could have killed it before, but he tried to pick it up. But yeah, it was pretty laggy at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But regardless of lag, I think he could have re-killed that elephant. But yeah. What did you want to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, Hazza needed something to go right for him. So getting the A2 wood, at least that's one thing that's gone okay. He's got 2 shipments stacked. Yeah, this is TP first as India. I think it's a very stylistic thing. It's something I never really got into, but I've seen a lot of other players use it with success. I think, to be fair to Emu was like the first person I saw who started always TP first as India, and it's kind of caught on since then. But it is slow. 5:23 is the age up time. I mean, Brits has just had, it feels like so much time. I mean, his outpost has just been chilling out here, not really doing anything, just because it's been perfectly safe. It's sort of having a little picnic out here now, just getting on the move, securing this.
Imagine he would have like scouted that part of the map here with his outpost just because he can. Like, oh, Hassa's gonna catch the seapoint. Gonna split, but that's not a good trade for Turk.
You can't catch 2 seapoints with just 2 Hass.
Yeah, no way. But
he wanted to go for the Vil, which he will. If he gets the Vil,
nice.
Okay.
That Vil is dead, but the Hass might get caught a little bit. Has another microing here. His seapoint is actually getting out multitasked a bit, and yeah, I wanted to say about the trading post that it maybe makes more sense if you're gonna send good faith agreements.
Yeah, that's the builder Emu used to do. That I see. Probably being unfair to someone else, but yeah.
Also, that on this map you get sheep, which means you already have more XP than usual. So I don't know that the H1 TP is that valuable here. So if you're just gonna slow yourself down that much just to get a TP and stack like shipments forever in H2, I don't know how good it is, but we'll see eventually, I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, I assume Turk is going for the standard Brit build of the month: 700 woods, 5 villages, 700 coins, semi-FF. It kind of looks like he's gathering for that. Though he does get another batch of 5 hussars, which is maybe unusual, but it will certainly put a lot of pressure on Hazza.
Well, the first batch was only 4, I think, and this one is 5. But meanwhile, we have a donation from Harrison saying, I don't remember the exact message, but saying something about thank you, Wicked, for joining in last second. So thank you indeed. And yeah, more raids from Turk. Like, usually you don't cap start, right? If you drop a stable as Brits, and your opponent just is India and Sepoy rushes you or something, I think you're pretty dead. But India was so late that Turk was actually able to make a lot of cab and raid.
Yeah, and I mean, Hazza couldn't even call the Minutemen because he'd already called them earlier. They didn't really get much value there. And again, Turk gets. I guess that's an okay trade for Hazza. Nice split by Turk though. I mean, it could have gone a lot worse for him.
Yeah, but pretty fortunate Hazza pop for Hazza here. So he cleaned up more Hussars, and that was definitely not a good trade now. Just killing like 3 Hussars for 1 Vil or something. So, and meanwhile, actually 700 gold for Turk. And he's just stacking a lot of food now. Like, all that food could be a lot of extra manors instead, maybe. Because he's got actually only 90 pop of manors, which is not that great.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. It almost looks like a sort of A's type build where he goes for the
industrial.
The church card, and I forget what it is. You get like 8 Highlanders, I think it is.
Right.
Yeah, for 1,000 food. But
And
I
then,
think it is just his macro.
oh
Ooh, nice
yeah,
raid from Hazza though. He's actually gonna get some value on the British Phils, which they haven't even had to get Greatcoat yet. He's probably gonna get another one as well here.
yeah, bit late reaction here from Turk. Um, but yeah, so all in all, not looking so bad for Hazza. I mean, it was looking pretty bad, but now what do we have now? We have India back to even eco basically with Brits, and we have India aging a bit later, but not that much later than Brits. So it's a game. It's a pretty close game. Brits is ahead. You can see it in the score, but the score is always a bit misleading in this matchup, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the major challenge for India now, I guess, is going to be, well, normally it's to try and deal with the two Falconets, but I mean, it depends on whether Turk's actually going to go down that route, or is he just going to be shipping things like 8 Vils, getting even more eco? Is he going to be shipping military upgrades, or is he just going to try and get a push on before India is able to deal with the two Falconets? So it'll be interesting to see what his first shipment is. I didn't actually see if it was a military one or not.
I feel
So
like
hopefully,
if Turk goes for Falconet, yeah, he does, but that's really risky. I mean, he has no. Oh, okay, he's got a batch of 4 Dragoons, but he's got sort of a mix of H2 units, and I feel like just a bunch of India units, like any kind of units, just going to melee, you just could instead move that, like Sepoys, Mahouts, Yuramis, whatever, just kind of ballsy.
yeah. But I mean, it's gonna pay off. I think it's just the players kind of knowing each other fairly well. I feel like, yeah, if you tried this at a lower level, then the other guy's still going to be age 2. But at this high level, you can kind of just expect the other guy's always going to go to the age 3. This Falconet's taking a lot of damage, though. I mean, it still
Wow.
lives, but
Was it the elephants on top of the Agrafor doing that much damage, or?
yeah, combination. The elephant's doing a bit of melee damage, and the Agrafort just slowly working away at it. But I mean, they're still scary. There's still 2 Falconets up. We'll have to see if Hazza goes for the. No, he goes for 9 Sepoys.
But there's really nothing to deal with Sepoys so much. I mean, yeah, there's Falconets and Longbows, but if he gets like 10 more Sepoys, and he had 2 shipments upon age up, so he could get Euromis or Mahouts or anything. And then I'm really worried about iamturk's unit composition against that.
Oh, that's someone who's had bad experiences with India in the past.
Yeah.
Like he's got nothing against Sepoys apart from the exact 2 British units which counter them: longbows and falconets.
Right, he's just got nothing to block, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, even against musketeers, you could say that Hazza's sort of block, but Yuramis,
God.
Minutemen, and there you go. Just what I was talking about.
Oh no. Oh God!
Jesus Christ! Just Sepoys killing everything, and Yuramis connecting as well. Even the Hassas, not gonna do that much, but yeah, right there you go. Still not the worst trade for Turk though. He's done a good job of trying to pull trick his units away, but that was kind of to be expected. And meanwhile, these Hassas are really not doing much. They could be attacking the Yuramis right now, but they're just. Okay, now they're gonna raid.
Yeah, that's really nice for Hazza. That's a huge swing. I think Turk must have killed like 3 Yuramis and 2 Sepoys and lost 2 Falconets and 30 Longbows. That's insane. So Turk needs to buy some time. Oh, he can't. His Dragoons are getting caught on the left again. Hazza's been relentless with these Sepoys. He's not letting up. He keeps moving forward, keeps getting the volleys. So Turk's army hasn't been able to escape at all.
Man. And meanwhile, Hazza was on top of his multitasking. He had Sepoys handling boss raids here, kind of here and there. He had Sepoys ready to catch the Hassas. That could be a massive raid though. But meanwhile, Hazza did kill a lot of stuff. But the Sepoys are gonna find the Vils. Oh, that's gonna be a big raid. I mean, he's gonna lose all his Sepoys here to Goons and Longbows, but he can get a decent trade out of it.
Yeah, Hazard's definitely in the economic lead now. He's in the meantime. He also got up a second town. Oh, hello, the new ceasefire.
Yeah. I don't know that this is really useful, but
Yeah. Uh, I,
I guess he will still kill some vills, and he pulled back one sepoy to slow down the mass of longbows.
oh, that's cute. Oh wow, that's actually having an effect because Turk hasn't realized yet at all.
And the longbows
Ah,
pathing around the native posts, just yeah.
the
In mean,
sepoy's still on them.
in meanwhile here, another raid. Good reaction time by Turk though, but he's gonna lose like 2 vills. Um, this is exactly what India wants, right? I mean, just running around, dropping another TC on top of some resources here, gonna be able to call more Minutemen to defend the raid. Just buying time, like running around, pushing Brits away from resources. Like, what else do you want as India here? Honestly, like he's
Yeah,
getting so far ahead in eco. Brits is not gathering. Just running around, Brits not able to push like ever. Catching the raids as well. I think Hazza was in a kind of trouble, and after that fight, it's going really well for him now.
yeah. He's Hazard's just picking Turk apart here in the past few minutes. He's also shipped the free map out. So, I mean, this longbow raid. I don't know where the elephants are actually, but I imagine that longbow raid is going to go horrendously. Whether those, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen them. The longbow raid is going to meet the
yeah.
map out, so that will probably be
The end of the
yeah.
game, I think. I
How do we
mean,
reckon this one's going to go?
why
Oh,
would you
really
just
close.
push? Why would you just push with the most immobile unit in the game, which also dies to cav? Like it's the worst idea. I mean, he's just gonna lose everything.
Hazard
Uh,
must think it's his birthday. Like that's you ship free map outs, and then the enemy like just pushes in with 30 longbow. Like
Yeah, and meanwhile, the longbows could be really nice here. Like with the hussars to snare, the longbows could clean up, but there's nothing to re-kill the sepoys. And this is looking so good for Hazza. Look at the scores; it's completely reversed now. And TC went up for Brits, securing just the coin mine, but it's looking tough for Brits here.
yeah, nice micro by Hazard as well on the right, focusing the goons with the Gurkhas, and yeah, I think he's got enough not to worry about these two Huss. I mean, these vills are going back to work, but can they? I mean, not really.
Yeah, maybe there's a frigate on the way or something.
Yeah.
Let's. No, he doesn't have it in deck. Yeah, GG.
Wow.
Well,
That's a classic India game, isn't it?
yeah, right. I mean, I saw that coming. I was like, like when we said, like no
Yeah.
anti-sepoy, like that. Yeah, that's just maybe a bit of a lack of experience by Turk in this matchup. But usually, like you just go Musk, right? You don't want to bother with the sepoy stuff, and you just go Musk because if you go longbow and goon and Falks and Huss and a nice mix of units, you just get dead moved by melee sepoys anyway. So
Yeah.
that was fun to watch though. And then the raids, just running sepoys around, calling ceasefire, adding a second TC, just India stuff, and yeah, that just swinged into Hazard's favor so quickly.
Yeah. Let the India lane continue into the new decade. Let it never change. What a lot of fun.
Yeah, no matter how much you change ceasefire and how much you nerf sepoys and the great consulate and whatever, people will still just set move sepoys.
You can't stop it. Can't stop it. All right, let me quit out of this one.
Oh man, and yeah, looking at the graphs, like the trades were just so good for India at the end. And yeah, GG, which makes it
Yeah.
2-0 to 1 for Hazza here.
Yeah, 2-1. Still, it's a best of 7, so potentially a long road to go for both of these guys.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
And
so
it's gonna be Arkansas next. Very standard map.
Maybe this is where we see the things like Germany. 'Cause I don't think we've seen Germany yet. So I can imagine one of the players potentially picking German here, possibly Iroquois as well. Seems pretty popular this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we do have no, we don't have Mendocino. Okay, because in this tournament you've got 9 maps, but they kind of rotate, and so in this best of 7 we don't have Mendocino, but it's in the global map pool of the tournament. So like if you would have Mendocino, you would sort of want to play Germany there, I think, because you have 2 coin mines in base, basically. Arizona is still, sorry, Arkansas is still a very good map for Germany, so we could expect Hazza to lock it. He's comfortable with Germany. It's a good first pick.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of expect that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm very much liking Germany on Arkansas. But Hazza has a very big civ pool, so it's not like he's limited for options.
Yeah, definitely.
Turk's civ pool tiny bit smaller, but he's been branching out with new civs recently, so don't think he'll have much of an issue either. Does Turk does he play German at a high level? I don't know.
Depends on what you call high level, I guess. I mean, no, I mean, like, it's not even like flame or something. It's just, you know, he plays Germany, but not quite at the level he plays, say, Japan. Like, I don't know how good you would call his Germany. It's maybe Brigadier, you know, like PS38 level Germany. And I don't know that it would be enough to beat Hazza here. Like, it's not one of his main civs. It's like a tier 2 civ for him, maybe. But we've seen him pick Germany before in tournaments, I think. So, you know, he might go for it.
Yeah, but it's up to Hazard to pick first. So he's taking his time. I wonder why. Maybe he doesn't know. So yeah, he's
probably thinking. I'm saying probably thinking.
Thinking about my muchos opciones. Is that Spanish? I can't really tell.
That's total Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
I'm French, which is almost Spanish, so I can tell you this is legit Spanish.
All right. Ever the linguist.
So yeah, it looks like Hazza is not quite sure what to pick.
Oh, okay, Brit. That's it's always a solid pick. Arkansas, again, kind of similar to Florida. It's got a nice lot of resources, so always helps Brit.
Yeah, I can make a confession. I'm in the Discord channel, and Hazza is typing with people about what he wants to pick and stuff, and he considered going Germany, but he didn't want to play Germany into Japan because we've seen recently that it's maybe not as good for Germany as we used to think. So he's like, yeah, let's pick Brits, because how do you really beat Brits in Arkansas? I guess there's no real counter pick. So yeah, we're gonna have Brits against France here.
Yeah, this is a nice matchup. I personally always prefer to be France, even though I think it is a pretty 50-50 matchup. I just never quite found the formula to make it work, because Brits always feel that never quite reach age 3 in a good position, or always get caught out with the timings, whereas French, it just feels so much smoother.
Yeah, wait, let's talk about the hunts before I answer that. Maybe it's a bit low hunt for Hazza. I'm not sure. It looks a bit one hunt. I guess it's kind of even, actually. Just boss players don't have a lot of food for this map, but
yeah, it is actually a little short on it. But if you count the hunts, it's just like Turk's trading post hunt has spawned like a little bit closer to him, and that's what's made it But in terms of the actual count, they're all kind of there. It's just Hazards are a tiny bit far away. So I think we should go with this. But
Yeah. Also, this
maybe
one
not.
is
Yeah.
it's a bit further away, but it's also in the back, which kind of makes up for it. So like he could have heard it here or something. So I guess we can go with that. But yeah, about this matchup, I personally think it's a bit Brit favored. I think I've been quite vocal about that, and I know
Oh,
that
right.
has also.
Why is that? Why do you think it's Brett favored? Tell me more.
Wait, we have a. Thanks for subscribing, Rapti for Mika. I think it's Brit favored because Brits can sort of like probably with proper play just go for a front base and it should be okay even if France is aggressive in H2. And I just think that playing greedy and passive is not the right way to play the Brits. But I think if you're a bit more aggressive, you can sort of dictate how the game goes. And I've had a very hard time myself beating aggressive Brits in this matchup. While usually people who just play Brits and go H3, follow you up and stuff, they just end up losing to Queers and Vetmask and Falconets. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. Maybe Hazza can show us how he plays it. I know he plays the matchup pretty well. I've lost to him a few times as friends, so can definitely be interesting.
Hazard actually scouted this Coureur de Bois treasure, but he didn't actually start it. And I guess when you're up against France, because they have that extra native scout, you're always a little bit worried about starting a treasure that's going to take maybe 50 seconds to a minute to pick up, just because like the opposing PR40 France player is probably going to have it scouted. I mean, at this time, Turk doesn't actually have it scouted, but he is going to see it just now with his native scout.
Yeah.
So interesting decision by Hazard not to actually start that Coureur de Bois. I guess it's just not taking risks. I
really like it. I mean, it's a gamble, but sometimes the gamble is more in your favor and sometimes not. And I think when you're up against France, you wouldn't do it. Against another sim, you might actually go for it just because the CDB is really in a corner of the map, like really close to your base. It's not very likely your opponent would see it. But when it's France, I agree with you that, maybe not take it.
Oh, this isn't that aggressive Brit build. Then Virginia Company first.
Huh.
Interesting. I don't know if Dairuga's watching in the chat, but I'm sure he'd be very proud.
I think I saw him, so he's gonna be pretty happy about it. But that's surprising me because I've played Hazard a lot in this matchup, and usually he's really more like going for the front base and stuff. But maybe he wants to sort of mind game.
What is this? We got Cherokee trading post.
So just before we talk about it, on EP there's a change just for the viewers that gives you an XP trickle when you build a native post. Now you get roughly half a trading post worth of XP from that.
The other thing it does offer is you can get the 4 settler technology. I think it's 200 wood, 200 coins. So that's possibly something he might be looking to get as well.
I think first he wants to get the Cherokee basket weaving. Did he get that already? Because now he's taking hunting dogs. So he sort of delayed his market upgrades, but he got the upgrade that makes them not free, but they don't cost wood anymore. So hunting dogs is only 50 coin. Now he's gonna get steel traps for only 125 gold, which means that it already kind of pays off for building that trading post anyway.
Oh, that's really cool. Do you know how much the Cherokee basket weaving costs? I didn't see.
It's 100 food and 100 gold only, so it's very cheap. It's really good. If you get away with it, it's definitely like worth it. Because like you see, he invested extra wood, so he didn't really have much wood. Usually you have 125 wood when you hit H2. Obviously he didn't, but who cares? Like steel traps doesn't cost wood. Placer mines doesn't cost wood.
He stole it. Treasure on the right. Turk wasn't paying attention.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, has her on top of that there. And yeah, this Virginia company might actually be paying off. I mean, it mostly because Turk's pressure is probably going to be slightly delayed because he's doing that heavy eco build himself with this native trading post and the basket weaving. So Hazza might he's probably got a lot of time to put down a lot of manners. Turk has gone for the standard stable though, so at some point Hazza is going to make sure he needs to put in a lot of these vills. He does the odd ones about the map. We got a few out here and sort of another one up here that he's going to have to try and rein in at some point as the Hussar are now out on the map. So there's potential for Turk to pick up a few villages here if Hazza's not paying attention.
Right, yeah, especially as Hazza did not age up with the tower, yeah. And what I don't understand is why Turk is not getting more market upgrades. I mean, like, you usually get placer mines anyway, right? And now he's got placer mine for only 75 food, but he's not getting it, so he probably just forgot about it. A bit sloppy. I mean, I would just get amalgamation for sure, like 200 food for 20% on gold. Like, it's just so good now. But kind of forgetting about these upgrades, I guess.
Yeah. Hazza, in the meantime, he's got 5 pikemen, so he's in a great position to deal with the Hussars. And yeah, catches all 3 of them. Turk's probably going to at least get 2 away, but he does take damage on all of them, which is not great. They're all pretty much at half health.
Yeah.
He is gonna get out there. Oh, we got an extra random Hussar up top. He was just looking for lone villagers. Assuming he didn't get any.
Let's check units lost. But the CDB is still alive, so yeah, no, he didn't lose any vills on top. Is Turk getting... Yeah, Turk is getting the 4 vills from the native post. So here's that. And he also got a free vill in the middle of the map. So that's like 5 more vills, like 5 actual settlers on top of the regular French economy. And finally getting a trading post, because we didn't mention it, but he did not get a trading post as he was getting the native post on top. But now the native post is going to go down. Barely getting the 4 vills before it goes down.
Yeah, Turk making it up for not having the trading post by getting 2 at once. I guess maybe that's like preempting the fact that one of them will probably go down to some more pikemen. So he's just getting like an insurance trading post to ensure that he actually gets some passes in before he hits age 3. He's got 700 coin now on the field, so we'll be hitting age 3 pretty soon afterwards. Hazza as well, probably going to go up to the fortress age. It looks like he's gearing up for 700 coin to be coming in at any point, and we'll follow Turk up as well. Oh wow!
Oh.
Does lose 2 Hussars. He gets a vill though, but
Yeah.
Maybe not the best of trades.
Yeah, not the greatest trade, but not too bad. Turk, you know, probably identifying that Virginia company stuff, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm just getting stagecoach now and building TPs. Usually you would build a barracks because like Turk does not have a barracks, so you would like keep your wood for a barracks and some houses and be a little bit more aggressive. But because there's Virginia company, yeah, he can get away with a stagecoach here.
Yeah, Turk's still without placer mines, which seems very bizarre considering his sort of build was very unique in terms of making those market upgrades a little bit cheaper. So the one time you sort of would expect someone to get placer mines is when they research a tech that makes it cheaper. But you know,
Right.
There you go, Turk doing Turk things.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I like the idea of this strat. Like, I've already thought about doing something like that, but didn't really try it. But I like it. Like what Turk is doing. It's just like it makes no sense now because he didn't like actually do it. Like, and he even researched great code now, so he must have switched to his market, but he didn't see that he didn't research any of the gold upgrades, and like that has to be a mistake. It can't be like a choice, right? He must have forgotten about it because. Well, anyway,
Ooh, Turk's going to try and get some of the pikemen, and it will. He has to be careful. He's doing well with this explorer, who's working away on the pikemen, and
has a nicely pulling back the pikes together to make sure none of them are gonna get caught out of position. Goons trying to come in, but oh well, 10 goons now. That changed something. But more longbows as well. I feel like Hazza is okay here. Even if he loses his army, he's going to take a decent trade. There's no way France can efficiently fight this, right? He's trying
Yeah,
to
especially
snipe cover mode pikes with goons, and meanwhile just getting sniped. So
yeah, some nice focus fire from these longbows. They're always hitting the dragoons, which is really good. Hazard's got some reinforcement hussars, which
wow.
might help a little bit. All the pikes are getting some good value now. Turk is gonna need to retreat, I think.
That was, well, yeah. I mean, the Hussar dead, but he could retreat the goons. No, retreat the goons. That was a really good control by Hazza, I think, and a really good trade for him. And now we gotta keep in mind that it's even worse for Turk. Losing his units is bad, but losing his units when he's research stagecoach is even worse because now he's not gonna be able to control the TP line anymore. So anytime like Hazza will get this, and then he might just deny that as well. So, but that's a raid on
Ooh,
top.
that is gonna be annoying. Yeah, just even just from the idle villages, you probably won't lose too many just because it's a dragoon raid. Two have gone down so far, possibly a third one. Has forced all of Hazard's army back and away from that trading post line, so that's nice for Turk. But I mean, this longbow mass is now getting pretty big. So, oh, and Turk's finally getting the place mine upgrade. So, you know, good stuff.
Yeah, after using the entire first coin mine, that's unfortunate for him. And almost the second one as well.
Oh
Like,
no, no coin left.
you know, he could have mined all that already if he just got the upgrades. Like, I'm just thinking, you know, he mined like what, 3k gold. If he got amalgamation and placer mines, it could have been 4k gold. Like, he probably lost roughly 1k gold from not getting these upgrades, which is
Yeah.
like a lot of gold. Maybe not quite 1k, but maybe like 700 or something. And yeah,
I'm just sorry. I
yeah.
was just checking to see if Turk actually had a barracks down, because which he surprisingly does. Because I've sort of been looking at his army composition, and I wouldn't have realised he had a barracks in his base, judging by the fact he's just been going pure dragoon. So I kind of expecting the two falconets to be the next shipment on the way, or else this unit composition really doesn't make too much sense against 30 longbow. So yeah, I think two falconets will be on the way, and we'll probably see a little push out of Turk.
Yeah, it's a bit like you kind of want falconets in cav combat because you're making only cav, but you kind of need falconets, yeah. And then probably cav combat after falconets, and when you have like 13 queers or something. But yeah, it's maybe not the unit composition you want right now. Native scout going down, also a small raid on top. Gonna kill a couple of CDBs there. And Cav combat coming in indeed, but yeah.
Well, I guess that also makes sense if your army's only cavalry, right? Can't really complain too much about that. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because Turk had that native scout on Hazard's army for the last sort of 2 or 3 minutes actually, so he kind of saw the exact composition Hazard was doing. So I think maybe he's just hoping he can the big cuirassé mass can just sweep through it all, but Hazard is definitely now adding in his own dragoons, so that's probably not quite going to work. And now, yeah, Hazard's getting his own cav combat, and he's now hitting the trading post at the bottom, which I think is a good decision.
And this is not like, it's not like the Braids, you know, where you sort of go for longbow pike because you feel like you can't afford dragoons. Here it's the Braids with actual goons with cav combat on them, and plus some hussars to block. So the queers are really not that scary here compared to when you're up against like vet pikes. So I think this army from Hazza is very scary. However, he's losing a few bills on top.
Yeah, nice from Turk. I mean, that's the one thing you can do when the opponent sieges the trading post, you know where his entire army is. So may as well make use of your thing. He's getting a lot of vills actually. It must have been 5 or 6 have gone down, and probably another one's going to get, maybe even another 2. Meanwhile, Hazard's not turning around at all. He's going for the kill right now. He's headed straight towards Turk's base. No, just gonna. Oh, he's kind of splitting his army up a little bit, looking for villagers.
Yeah.
And he's going to come across quite a few actually.
And I mean, it makes sense to send the hussars to raid because he knows where the goons are. He knows he's not going to get caught by a mass of goons. So, yeah, and just killing a lot of CDBs. Also, he did clean up 2 of the TPs and took 1 for himself. So, despite getting raided a lot, Hazza is totally fine in eco here. Still ahead in eco actually now after killing some CDBs. But now there's more queers. There's 17 calf combat queers.
Where are the goons going? Oh, here come the cures. The longbows they're not in any trees, so the cures might actually have a good angle on here. We finally got some skirms in as well. They need to start firing. They're going to work away on the goons at the back.
And 5 idle hussars in the back, which is massive. Regardless, I feel like this is just fine for Hazza. I mean, he's just...
It's hard to tell, like, how many cures are left. Like, if all this longbow mass goes down, which it looks like it will, then it's very close. I think Turk's got to be happy with that now, because look,
I think
these longbows have sort of gone down for free now.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the trade than about like. I was feeling like this could be a decent trade for Hazza, even though he would lose his stuff. But really, yeah, it was a good trade for Turk actually. But man, with that in the fight, I'm sure Hazza would have been totally okay. This is a massive mistake. Five calf combat and calf HP queers, hussars.
Yeah, and interesting that he went for the calf HP as well. Neither player going for falconets. They're really holding off. Not often you see. We've already gone 16 minutes before the falconets finally actually coming out now from Turk. He's using the XP from the fight. Are his skirms all going to get caught?
Yeah, and this unit composition is really good for Hazza here. Even though he's got way less units, there's nothing to really kill the hussars efficiently here. So Turk is going to have to try to fight with queers, but the queers, they're going to get sniped by goons. And this whole cav mass is double carded for Hazza as well. So, wow, that was a really good trade for Hazza. I think Hazza was really losing the game now, and now...
oh, wow.
He's back in the game.
That's a really nice trade. I actually thought that was still going to go a little bit better for Turk, even though Hazza the right units. I just thought, wow, 10 cures, they're so beefy.
Oh my god, no.
What's going on? What's happening? Oh no!
2 idle falconets next to a manor house, man. That's so unfortunate for Turk.
I guess this is why people don't like shipping the falcs these days.
Well, then again, he's like... second time? I don't remember.
Did we miss a game? Did they already play one? Maybe it's the second time today for Turk. It's probably something that happens.
Yeah, not in this series, I think, but well, he did kill a lot of goons and Huss for the Falks, so it's not that bad. 8 vills for Hazza, kind of an interesting shipment. It looks like Hazza just doesn't want to ship units. Like he just shipped units twice, and then he shipped Cav Combat, Cav HP, 8 vills, which is really greedy.
It is when you start considering this is the point in the game where the resources start running out a little. You start heading out into the middle of the map, and that's where you just want the bigger armies to actually just kind of be able to secure the resources. Oh, 6 long. Does he just not have units in his deck then? I guess that's it.
He got falconets and 9 masks, but he decided to go for 6 longbows, which I kind of like because they do the job here. But falconets would be just better, I guess. Even with the small wall, like he could build a small wall and ship falconets would be better than 6 longbows for sure. Either way, he's holding, so I guess not that bad.
He is. I feel like though once that sort of top bastion of resources runs out, Hazza's gonna have. I'm not quite sure where he goes next. He'd have to transfer all his vills to the south of the map, or
yeah, but he does have not a ton, but these few animals here and the berries. True. He's also got these berries on top, like next to his tower, right? So he's ahead in eco, so he can afford to have some vills and berries. He's got 1k gold left, so Hazza will need to get some map control at some point, quite soon. But it might be just what he needs to just mass enough stuff meanwhile. Like if he can get falconets and just more goons and then just push out, he could be okay.
Looks like we're going to have a bit of a confrontation here. Turk pushing in with the skirms. He's another bat secures as well. So,
but there's no way he's not going to go in here, right?
Yeah.
Hazza could have just not moved, I think. The choke was perfect. But this is an even better choke for longbows now. Really good positioning by Hazza. The
Yeah,
Bills are gonna tank. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, as you say, the choke is excellent. Turk realizes he can't really push in too much. He's trying to get a bit of value though on these vills, and he's certainly doing so. He's picking off a few. He just has to make sure he doesn't lose all of his army though. There we go. So he's got one last vill, and he's pulling on out now.
I mean,
so
when you think Hazza shipped 8 vills and he doesn't really know what to do with them, because he can't really gather that many resources, like he's chopping so much wood, and Turk is trading units for vills. It's actually good for Hazza, right? Like I shipped 8 vills, they are just chopping wood. You kill like 3 vills, I kill 5 skirms. Like I take the trade, you know. Hazza still ahead in eco, or well, it's kind of even considering the extra trading post for France.
yeah,
It does have a mill as well, which is not ideal, but at least it's here. He's got the mill, you know, 400 wood investment. So he's starting his transition. Not that many hunts left for Turk either, I guess.
yeah. Hazard doing a little raid on bottom. He did get one Courrier de Bois, but probably that's gonna be it. I mean, the eco's been pretty similar actually for the last 5 minutes or so. Oh my God! Turk hasn't seen us up top.
He was busy catching Hussars in the bottom, which he did, but yeah, certainly a good trade for Hazza here. Losing like 3 Hussars in the bottom, or even 2 Hussars only, and killing, I don't know how many cities on top, and denying one of the last hunts for Turk. Look at Turk's macro. He has like 4 vills and food. He needs to use berries now.
I have just noticed that these cures are getting pretty jacked. They've got 700 HP, and Hazard's got he's got some dragoons. I guess he does have a few dragoons. I'm just worried that maybe it's not enough. When you get a whole bunch of 700 HP cures, sometimes they can just cream up. Oh, he's actually adding pikes as well now, just because he's sort of out of coin, and he does want that anti-cavalry. So yeah, I do like that option to add a few pikemen then if you can't build more dragoons.
That's actually really smart. So what did I want to point out? Yeah, 2 things I wanted to point out. First, yeah, Turk is going to be out of gold at some point, and Brits is fine to just go pure longbow pike, but France is not so fine going crossbows. And the other thing I wanted to say is that the cures are really scary indeed, but I really like the pikes, and also Hazard's cav is strong as well. He's got also double carded stuff. And
that's a ton of cures though. That is a ton of cures. Turk's just gonna go. He's just gonna go for it. Crosses, hope for best. A move in. How's this gonna go? I can't tell.
Turk is gonna clean this up, I think. Oh, there were more pikes. More pikes. Yeah.
And he got that pike. He got that pike as well.
A bit late, vet pikes. They're mostly dead. But yeah, the goons in the back. The thing is that there's just not enough skirms to actually snipe the goons, right? So Hazza is going to take a sort of bad trade because he's going to lose all his longbows. But meanwhile, you know, the goons are sort of okay. But yeah, that is just not a good trade for Hazza overall still, I think.
Yeah, it was fairly close. Meanwhile, on the bottom, these huts are doing a little bit of damage. And yeah, actually, Hazza has eked out now a substantial eco lead. They were pretty even, but it says 23 difference, which if the game carries on, that's
I guess.
I guess Stagecoach as well.
Yeah, and Stagecoach is really nice when you're out of gold, I guess. But yeah, all things considered, it's like Hazza maybe just made like too many longbows. Like you can't expect France to go heavy on Queer, so maybe that was just too many longbows. But regardless, it's probably an okay trade just because he's got more eco and he already transitioned to mills and he can just spam longbow pike while these Queers are very hard for France to replace now.
Yep, but I mean, Hazza's actual army on the field is not what he wants. Just dragoons and pikes, like. Turk's got the superior army right now. We got the 1k coin coming. I'm guessing you're saying, because it's coming in at the outpost, right? It has us frantically picking it up with like 20 vills. So he should be okay to get it. But yeah, a little sketchy moment for him.
Always a bit awkward, yeah. But I do like the 1k gold, and I feel like Turk might have wanted to go for 1k gold himself instead of Eco Theory, because he's out of gold right now. So Maybe Eco Theory being a bit too greedy here.
Yeah, yeah, possibly.
Well, I know you wouldn't agree. I know you would love Eco Theory, right? Yeah, you're a greedy player. You like that kind of shipment.
Yeah, it's nice, but I mean, yeah, the 1K coin does. Yeah, no, we'll stick with that. That's fine. All right, carry on, carry on. Where are we?
Oh, we are
Turk's
in
pushing in.
trouble. I mean, Hazza is in trouble. I don't know. Oh, the pikes though. I mean, if you can call Minuteman and just trap, like this is almost a bait at this point. Like these Spears could just be in trouble.
Yeah, there's. I don't think you want to fight with 20 vills and behind the town set. Oh, I mean, yeah, Turk's doing okay here. He's the full HP Explorer's tanking a ton at the front.
The longbow's on top, completely out of position though, getting destroyed by the Queers. But meanwhile, the pike's getting a good catch on everything, really. I mean, at this point when, like, you can just fight anything with spikes, it's always going to be a good trade when your opponent doesn't have gold. Like, you just set move everything. And I think this is, Hazza's done it. Finally, he's taking the fight he needed. It's been a long time he's trying to take a good fight and finally cleaning up. And I think there's no coming back now for Turk. We're going to see his score going down and down. And
Oh wow, yeah, Turk just overcommitted pretty heavily there, and Hazza with the impressive cleanup. And let's see, Turk's got 10 vills on coin, so it looks like he has managed to get up a plantation, but it's going to take a while before it slowly gathers gold.
yeah. And I was gonna say Azam would be proud, and then he just like typed that. So yeah, definitely the pikeman way is something Azam likes. And now guess what? Hazza's gonna have lots of fun getting these TPs down with 25 pikes. Might want to even get an arsenal and get the upgrade because oh well, pikeman raid soon, I guess.
Yeah, this turns out building a mill in this position of the map isn't the best. Who knew?
Yeah.
I guess Pat's still learning on that one. You know, we all make mistakes there. But yeah, these pikemen are just such big numbers that the goons really can't cut them down. Using the cover mode there as well. I mean, Turk is escaping some of the vills here.
I think Hazza needed to really catch the vills with his pikes and send like you can send like 5 pikes to the dragoons and they're gonna have to back off and hit and run. And if you can do that, meanwhile the rest of your pikes actually kill the vills. But either way, he's killing a lot of CDBs. Longbows are in, just preventing the goons from really doing much. Turk is gonna save some vills, but look at the eco population at this point. I mean,
yeah. Wow, yeah, and the other good thing about having pikes is it gives you a lot of siege to take down the stagecoach line as well. So he's not just going to be sat here for a minute with longbows sieging. This trading post is actually going to go down fairly quickly, and that's going to be a big blow to Turk's eco. Turk did get the 1K coin in though, so if he wants to maybe make another batch of cures or even 2, he actually now has the coin to do it. And Hazza's pike count has run out a little bit, so. There is maybe potential there, but
maybe,
wow.
but it's not very. I mean, the mass, like how long do you need to remass when you don't have gold? I mean, except for the 1K gold and 1 plantation, it's really hard to remass when you're like 50 units behind, and also losing your trading post 1 mil, which he cannot use anymore because Hazza did not go for it. Like he doesn't need to siege it down. This mill is useless now, so that's also a big blow to iamturk's infrastructures here.
Well, let's not discount the line of sight bonuses it gives. You know, it's not all bad, but yeah, it's not looking great for Tech. He does use the 1K coin to get 5 more cures, but I mean, Hazza did add a few more pikes, a few more dragoons as well, so it's not really going to work. Another 2 hostile raid actually going to get him with some value here. They're pretty low HP, but I mean, it's more finding the location of the vills, which is going to be the big deal as the rest of the army moves in to clean them up, I imagine.
Denying the berries because berries actually matter at this point. So, and killing the vills, of course. By the way, Turk did not get the meal upgrades. But again, meal upgrades are also cheaper from the Cherokee upgrade. Like, it's actually an insane upgrade when you think about it. Even plantations, like, imagine you get that plantation upgrade, you save 300 wood from the Cherokee.
Yeah, yeah, that should have helped his transition a lot. But I mean, Turk's struggling to get the army out now. His army's almost half the count. He's trying to get some value here, picking up some loose reinforcements. But if Hazza chooses to engage, then Turk's just going to lose a fight. I guess the only good thing for Turk is that Hazza doesn't really have a unit that actually forces an engagement. So Turk can always kite. There's no like hussars. So yeah, Hazza can never really force an engage, I suppose, other than just standing under his town center.
Yeah, right. He can't force a fight, but he doesn't have to because he's got 40 longbows and there's nothing friends can do about it. He painfully massed like 8 queers, which are pretty jacked, like you said, but you know, there's just too much stuff for Brits here. And when you don't have enough queers, like we saw that fight, right? When you have the massive queers, you can take fights even if you have less units and actually clean up. But if you don't have enough of them, it's going to be the complete opposite, and the queers will do absolutely nothing and just die before they do damage. So and now Hazza's going to push the plantation maybe.
Yeah, he's managed to get the human upgrade in. This is Turk's moment. We got 5 kills from the top. He needs to pull some CDB maybe, just to sort of tank some of the blows from the pikemen possibly. Otherwise, I don't really see this going too well. He does have the Minutemen coming in. Yeah, I would like to see some CDB maybe coming in there.
Still, the queer's doing so well still, but you know, that's just game over here. Like, he can't kill these longbows, and then he can't gather, and even that explorer actually getting the TP down at last second. So GG, yeah.
GG. That was it. That was a good one. That one. That was quite really back and forth. Yeah. I thought Turk had it at one point, but good A move from Hazza. Top quality A move with the pikeman.
Yeah, Hazza just seemed to be in a good spot in early fortress, just cleaning up all these goons and hussars, and then just massing and getting a decent trade. Like, first big fight was a better trade for Turk, but you know, good enough for Hazza that he was in a good spot, I think. And then he just took a pretty bad fight later, but then there was a pike fight at 25 minutes, that fight in Hazard space with the pikes and stuff, and that was such a good trade for him.
Yeah, I'm sure the pikemen were enjoying that. It's such a strange unit. They get, you know, the moment to shine for the pikemen is like from minute 5 to 7, then they get forgotten about for like half an hour, and then they get a brief moment of enjoyment and use again as they come on the field.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So they were enjoying life back in the limelight of a high-level tournament game into the 30-minute mark. So good for them, and good for Hazza. He's now up 3-1. So yeah, he's only 1 game away from advancing to the semi-finals and playing yourself. But we'll see. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be Turk.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe Turk can win 3 games in a row, but it's definitely quite challenging. So we'll have to see what he can do. Looking good for Hazza so far. Yet he has to pick first now, and he can't play Brits or India or France anymore.
So what have we got? Colorado. That's a tricky one to pick first on. It's a good Iroquois map. I don't really know if Iroquois is sort of Hazza is amazingly comfortable with, though.
Yeah, I think Eero is probably Hazza's worst tier. I think he told me that. It's one of his worst tiers. So
because I think it's probably one of the better picks on this map. I don't know. I guess you could always go Germans. Germans is never a bad pick on a TP map, really. Even if Colorado has the mines are a bit further out, it's still nice.
Yeah, so, it's okay to go Germany here. It's not a bad pick, but I would rather be counter picking as Germany, because if you pick Germany first and then they go for something aggressive, then the coin mines might be really painful. I already agree with Eero.
Mm.
I would probably hero, but
Yeah,
I know Hazza won't, so I don't know what he's gonna play here.
Russia's a good option for Hazza. He's a it's his long time civ, and it does well on these sort of skirmishy type maps with sort of low resources. You can certainly block house off a lot of the hunts. The only issue with Russia is you always feel a little concerned that you might get counterpicked a little by Germans, but I think Russia's a potential option here for Hazza. So I'm leaning
Definitely.
towards Russia.
Yeah, could be Russia for
So
sure.
could be. The thing is, though, you just type in with him in Discord again, like telling him what civ to go. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, he's actually getting a drink. I
All
mean,
right, all right.
I
So
assume
I'm wondering if
he could have been lying in the chat like sec drink, and then I would just see him type all the time in Discord. But looks like he's actually getting a drink because he's not
he's
on
good.
Discord. So
Right, because I hope you weren't just humoring me when I'm like I think Russia could be a good pick, and you're sort of like could be when you've got full information of exactly what's coming out.
no, I don't actually know. I just really
Right.
agree it could be a good pick. I don't know what Hazard's going for, but it might just be Russia, yeah. But it might be
Yeah,
Germans. I don't know. Oh,
yeah.
Aztecs. I mean, Hazard's pretty comfortable with Aztecs. Spain, even Spain is. I mean, this map has insane treasures, and I
Oh,
think
that's true.
Spain does well here. It's low resources. It got a nice TP line and good treasures. It's all the recipe for a good Spain map, right? But Hazard has lost with Spain, and then he said the civ was shit. So I guess he will not play Spain again.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is the one civ that he's lost with so far, so you might just wanna keep it fresh.
Right.
In which case, yeah, I don't really see between beyond Russia and Germany if you can't pick Iroquois.
Yeah, we'll have
I
to
mean,
just wait.
Ottomans, I
Otto
guess.
could also be fine. It just feels sad to not get the treasures because the treasures so good and you like busy taking
Mm,
TPs. I don't know how good
yeah.
Russia, how good Otto is here. I'm not sure. I really, I think it's gonna come down to what Hazard is more comfortable with.
So Russia it is then, I guess.
Could be Russia, yeah.
Oh, he's taking his time. He's having a think.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, Russia indeed. He was
Yeah.
almost gonna go Dutch, but I wouldn't go Dutch on this map.
but someone typed to him and told him not to go Dutch. So
I actually was
he
typing to
plays
him.
Russian.
I was typing I wouldn't go Dutch, and then I just tapped back in, and well, you said oh Russia. So even before I actually typed it, he was going Russia, and Turkey is going for the mirror. Interesting.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, no, that's interesting actually. I like this Russian mirror. So
Wow.
yeah, we could get very aggressive. We'll have to see if they block house on top of each other, or if one player decides to concede the map. I mean, the thing is, you don't really want to concede map control on this
Right.
map. So I think we will see maybe some block houses on top of each other.
Like even on any map, in theory, if you give up the map control in a mirror, your opponent can do exactly the same build as you, like exactly the same, just while having map control and you're just behind. So I guess in theory, you need to go for a front base here. Then again, you can try to go for some sort of anti-meta build, like some sort of weird timing push with the blockhouse in base. But in theory, it's just better to go for the forward blockhouse, right? It's just like a brick mirror. If you don't go for the forward tower and your opponent does, well, he has map. But we'll see. We might see some more cheeky builds.
Yeah, there's I know a couple of cheeky builds people have used in tournaments recently. You've got one which is just not sending an age one shipment at all, so and then just saving it up to send all 3 military shipments, the 5 and 4 Cossacks and the 13 Strelets. And the other maybe slightly less cheesy one is sending the 300 wood first,
Yeah.
which is kind of like the in between. So you still get a bit of I was going to say eco, but you can't really call 300 wood eco. But you know what I mean. You sort of get it's not as all in as not using the shipment at all.
Yeah.
But I don't know which
And
one
then
I
you can.
prefer. Yeah.
So what? What do you say?
I don't know which one I prefer.
I honestly prefer sending the wood trickle, but
I'll just play it. Nah, okay, that's no fun.
I mean,
What a stupid answer.
I've played actually in a tournament against Taban, and he went on Bengal, I think, in a Russia mirror for 300 wood and the 500 foot age up.
Right.
But like I kind of knew it was coming because I saw it in his deck, and I think I scouted maybe the 500 foot age up. And then if you know it's coming, you can just sort of like adapt. I don't know how good it is. I think you can just play standard with the wood trickle and be ahead, just with the defender's advantage. Because if he goes 300 wood, he's gonna try to be aggressive under your blockhouse, and then obviously you're gonna just pop something and have the blockhouse shooting all the time, and eventually you're just gonna be able to defend, I think. But oh, laggy, huh?
Oh, hopefully it's just a spike and it passes. Yeah, I did notice that.
But
Hazza's obviously concerned because he's working on this this nectar treasure, which is kind of a big deal in a Russian mirror. I would anticipate as it concedes the blockhouse.
yeah,
And take
right.
a lot of hit points away from that. So it's a big treasure to get in this mirror.
Yeah, definitely. It has been nerfed against Bills, but the siege was not changed. So yeah, 30 siege times 4 is a lot of damage to a blockhouse. Could be enough to just sort of motivate Turk to not go too far forward with it. And let's check their decks if they have some sort of 300 wood. Nah, it's just very standard decks.
Wow. Yeah, and both players have got shipments on the way, so nothing too cheesy coming out of either player.
I think
Hazza getting yep.
I think Turk might go for his go-to build as Russia, which is 700 gold first and just spam musketeers. But if he's actually sneaking a TP here, interesting.
Wow, that's I wonder if this build will see it just getting this treasure. Is that in line of sight? It might.
Well, it will go hunt. I mean, herd anyway.
Course, yeah.
So yeah. So he's gonna know about it, and that is big. Well, I mean, anyway, he would see it in the top right corner, but that means to Hazza, okay, I already know that Turk is not gonna go for front base, because if he does, and I also do, then I'm gonna just nuke his blockhouse, because he's gonna be so far behind after building a TP. Although Turk did get some nice wood treasures, so maybe he will still go forward. But I know Turk's Russia. I think he will go for the 700 gold. So he's gonna go in base, because if you open 700 gold, you can't rush, obviously. So he's just gonna go in base, send 700 gold and 5 and 4 Cossacks probably, and just try to timing push Hazza's blockhouse. And that's why he's got a TP. He doesn't need to build the blockhouse directly. I think that is the plan, but we'll see.
Yeah, and very aggressive blockhouse coming out from Hazza, well onto Turk's side of the map. And yeah, Turk's going to really need to work on getting this second hunt, and he's got a blockhouse going up front, though, just out front, next to his coin mine. So he probably only needs 2 more shots, I'd say, on this hunt to at least get it within some sort of safe-ish range. So it's not a disaster for Turkey. He's put his blockhouse in a good position to protect that hunt that's more out in the open.
Yeah, it's an interesting blockhouse placement. So let's have a look at Turk's pop. Turk is not shipping anything actually.
I'm just. When did the word interesting start to mean bad? By the way,
No, I think it's really interesting, like because it covers the coin mine and it does sort of cover that second hunt, so it's okay, you know. Anyway, Turk is shipping 5 Cossacks actually, so I was wrong about that. He has 5 Cossacks on the way 100%, so no 700 gold.
Oh, okay. If he's got 5 Cossacks on the way, Hazza's gonna have to be careful, because if they pop out the TC any time now, wow. Okay, so Hazza's just made it away, so he should be okay there. And
Yeah,
this Nukta's got to actually be pretty annoying
yeah.
for Turk. It's just slowly working away on that trading post. I wondered if he maybe didn't fully register that Hazard got that, or else he probably wouldn't have gone for the trading post in Hazard's base.
Yeah, that is actually smart from Hazard to just task that sort of lesser unit. Like that unit is not very strong at fighting, but it's very strong at sieging. So it's a good decision from him to just get it to slowly get that TP down. Um, so yeah, Turk sort of forgot to ship his first shipment, so that's why his Cossacks were so late. And I just don't know like what
Oh,
the plan is for Turk. Shipping 5 cars but staying in
this
base is
yeah, this is really nice by Hazard. He's preempting the fact that Turk's going to try and snipe the clubman with his Cossacks, and so he positions his own Cossacks there. He's got his own muskets coming in. Turk, luckily for him, he doesn't actually get stopped by the trap, but that was really nice army movement by Hazard that he knew that Turk was going to go for the snipe on the clubman, and he prevented that.
yeah, it was smart from Hazard for sure. And now he's also using his Cossacks to get the TP down a little bit faster. Um, and adding a second blockhouse. So we're in that kind of situation I mentioned, right? Like they're going for a mirror build order, except Turk got a TP, but the TP is now down. So, I don't know if it even really paid off so much. Well, anyway, it's sort of a mirror build, but now Hazard has the map control. And if Turk wants to do anything at any point in the game, he's going to have to push into 2 blockhouses, which is going to make it way harder for him. So I don't know what Turk's plan is from now on. He's got a second blockhouse. He's got 700 gold and a stable. So just probably going to be must and cost, but I don't know if he will be able to break 2 blockhouses.
Yeah, Hazard's kind of done the same thing. He added a stable towards the it kind of in a random location, but he's also got that stable up. So both players with the same production capabilities, but both using them to produce just a ton of muskets and Cossacks. I mean, Turk's got enough hunt to last him a while, so it's not a huge issue right now that he doesn't have map control. But yeah, he needs to come up with a plan, which beyond just massing a bunch of units,
Yeah.
which Hazard's obviously going to have the same plan. I mean, it's all going to come down to a fight, really. And can Turk get the mass he needs to break these blockhouses? And possibly, I mean, Hazard always likes to be doing something with his army, so maybe Turk can try and catch it out a little bit when it's away from these blockhouses at any point. But Hazard playing it safe, just moving it back. He's just kind of rotating his army around, maybe seeing if there's a loose villager out there. You never know. Always worth checking.
Yeah. I mean, he's got units. He's using them, just containing. He doesn't feel like he has to push or anything. Just waiting because that's what you do here. Hazard just doing the right thing, not trying to push. Because pushing would be the best way to lose this game, probably. He's just gonna have to make sure that Turk is not aging, right? That's the only scary thing if you don't push. So that's why he was scouting with his Explorer and Nutka, and I think he identified that Turk is... no, he knows about it, for sure. Oh, Hazard has to be careful here. Well, losing a few strelets.
Yeah, the Strelet's not really getting much value. Turk's got the 13 Strelets out now. I mean, it's a kind of a nice trade for Turk, but can he really break this position? I would suggest not. He's going to try and force a fight, though. He's got more muskets coming from the back. I mean, Turk does have the bigger army, so if Hazard stands and fights without any reinforcements, then Hazard will actually lose the fight.
He's got the bigger army, but lots of it is strelets, while Hazard has much more Cossacks, and I feel like, in fact, Hazard has more mass here just because of the Cossacks. Plus the blockhouse is shooting and all, and more Cossacks coming in for boss players, but this is looking... Oh yeah, 13 strelets. That's just really good for Hazard now.
Yeah, Turk has to back off. So he's going to try and kite away, but the Strelets are gonna cause a lot of damage to these muskets. Even more muskets coming out from Hazard. So Hazard has well and truly defended that. Yeah, I mean, not quite sure what Turk does now. He still has a bit of hunt, but I mean, Yeah, risky age up to Fortress, I think, is the next option.
Yeah, maybe. It's just so tough in this kind of mirror if you fall behind and you still don't have map control. Like, let's say Hazza would have taken a poor trade, but he would still have two blockhouses in the middle map. He would be sort of okay, but for Turk it's just really tough. We have a bit of a fight here. Turk killing a couple Cossacks, but gonna have to
Yeah.
pull back, so...
Hazza managed to squeeze in the Boyas upgrade, which is going to be pretty important for later on. Whereas Turk opted for those 4 Cossacks. But yeah, I mean, they're both sort of losing 1 or 2 Cossacks each.
Yeah, and I don't know what's the next option for Turk here. He will be at some point out of hunts. He has sneaked a few bills on top.
Yeah. I wonder how long that will go unscouted for.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to say, he's actually trying to rotate his army up top because he kind of suspects that Hazza might. No, well.
I think he's just ready to catch a raid there. Just with his Cossacks, but yeah, Hazza just idling Turk a bit, just poking, you know. Again, he doesn't need to push, so it's kind of like an awkward situation where Turk needs to push at some point, but he can't, and Hazza doesn't want to push because he doesn't need to, so nothing really happens. And now it looks like Turk is back in the military, but I'm sure it's because Hazza's got a ton of stuff on the way. Because Hazza should be ahead after the trade, so... Yeah, now he's back ahead.
Well, I think Hazza's seen these bills up top, and he'd probably get these 2... quick reactions from Turk. That's actually going to be very useful for Turk, so he knows to pull his bills and bringing the rest of his army ASAP. He's got the Cossacks on the way. His infantry's still standing still, actually. I wonder if he maybe should be bringing that in as well.
Yeah, he definitely should. Turk is very confident, pulling his bills back as well. Instantly, he really wants to get on that hunt, but this is going to be a big fight. But Hazza's infantry is just here earlier, and Hazza can just go on top of the bills, maybe? But he decides to fight.
The one nice thing for Turk is he's actually managed to get a fight away from. So there's no reinforcement advantage for Hazza here, and Hazza actually sending some on the bills when the armies are fairly well balanced. I guess Hazza actually does have a small military advantage, but a lot of those are Strelets, so he has to be careful because Hazza's Cossack mass is falling a little bit.
Hazza has to hit and run. He has to hit and run away from that. I mean, he can't fight this. He sort of just wasted his Cossacks. Like, when you have less cav than your opponent, you need to keep your cav close to anti-cav, but he just took sort of like a mini fight away from the main fight and just lost all his cav, and now Hazza's gotta sack some muskets, and guess what? Turk is back in the game.
He is, yeah, and some of Hazza's reinforcements getting stuck around the wrong side of the cliff as well. Turk's going to try and make use of this advantage and push up on Hazza's resources. The risky thing for him now is he is closing on Hazza's production facilities, so he has to be a little bit careful. So he's pulling back now. So yeah, nice trade. And yeah, it has given him now access to this top hunt, a few extra gold mines as well. So he's bought himself some more time in the game. Hazza still does retain most of the map though, so again Turk will need to find other good engagements. That one good engagement isn't enough to propel him to a win immediately.
Yeah, Turk is back in the game, but it's still a close game and anyone's game at this point, I think. This is not good for Turk though, losing a few musks. 4 Cossacks coming in for Hazza because yeah, he did not use that card, so that's also something good for Hazza. Turk also having like casually like 20 bills in the bottom coin mine there, but probably never gonna be spotted, but quite a risk to take.
Yeah, Hazza just looks like he's got the bigger army here. I guess a lot of it is Strelets. Turk seems to be avoiding Strelets more. I think he's added a few more in actually, but even more muskets coming now. Has a poking forward with the Strelets, trying to get a couple of nice volleys.
Yeah, and I think Hazza just has a better unit composition here, and I don't think Turk can go in. He's trying to force a fight, but I don't know if he really can.
Yeah, I think he's got the smaller army. Somehow Hazza is actually retreating. I guess you could say repositioning more accurately.
Yeah, this is not going well for Turk. Few
No.
musks in melee, very nice positioning from Hazza here. And
Yeah.
more Cossacks from Turk though, which might be enough to survive, but it's overall a very good trade for Hazza, and
Oh, that's a huge trade for Hazza actually, and
Yeah.
even the coin mine at the bottom, it did actually get found as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So yeah, but I mean, not that that matters. Turk's army's been cleaned up, and GG.
yeah, GG indeed. Pretty good series, I think.
Yeah, pretty high level. So Hazza advances 4-1 to the semi-finals. He's gonna be playing yourself.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I'm sure that'll be a good series as well.
Yeah,
He did well
it will be
considering.
definitely interesting, for sure. And but yeah, I mean that age. I was just reading what Hazza was saying about the age one, and it's true. Maybe that's also why Turk did not go for the forward blockhouse because of the Nutka. Even though it's nerfed, that's maybe the reason why. Anyway, yeah.
Still went for the forward trading post though.
Yeah, I guess he hoped to just not have it scouted and like just sort of like keep it up for a bit longer. But yeah, in hindsight, it would have been better here. I mean, the one in his base would have been better for him for sure.
Yeah, I think the idea is sort of you build it in your opponent's base, and then like when the opponent goes back to siege it, you can like push his forward block houses and be
Yeah.
like, "Ha, I caught you out of position." But when the opponent just gets the Nukta and just sieges it the whole time, it kind of you don't really get the opportunity to do that. So I think maybe that was the idea, but the Nukta kind of just stops that.
Yeah, definitely.